I never thought I'd be the kind of parent posting something like this online, but here we are. I'm still torn, still replaying everything in my head, and still wondering if I crossed a line or if I simply did my job as a parent. I have 2 daughters. My eldest, Emily, 18, just graduated high school. My younger daughter, Sophie, 16, is a junior. The two of them have very different personalities. Emily is quiet, responsible, and tends to put family obligations first. Sophie is outgoing, impulsive, and very social. She has a big friend group, an active social media presence. It always seems to have something important happening. This difference has never really been a problem until Emily's graduation. Emily worked incredibly hard to graduate. She took advanced classes, balanced a part-time job, and still found time to help around the house. She doesn't ask for much and rarely complains. Graduation was a huge deal to her, not just the ceremony itself, but what it represented. She was the first in our immediate family to graduate with honors. From the moment the school announced the graduation date, we treated it as a non-negotiable family event. I told Sophie weeks in advance, no parties, no hangouts, no last-minute plans. This day was about her sister. Sophie rolled her eyes but said, "Fine." I thought that was the end of it. On the morning of the graduation, everyone was getting ready. Emily was nervous but excited, wearing her cap and gown, taking photos with us in the living room. Sophie, however, was glued to her phone, texting nonstop. About an hour before we were supposed to leave, Sophie casually said, "By the way, I'm not coming." I laughed at first, thinking she was joking. She wasn't. She told me one of her friends was throwing a last-minute graduation party for an older cousin, and everyone was going. According to Sophie, this party was a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and she'd already told her friends she'd be there. I reminded her calmly at first that her sister's graduation was also once in a lifetime. She shrugged and said, "Emily won't even notice I'm not there." That's when Emily quietly walked into her room and closed the door. I told Sophie she was not going to the party and that we were leaving for the ceremony in 45 minutes. She immediately exploded. She said I was controlling, unfair, and always choosing Emily over her. She accused me of not caring about her social life and claimed that missing one graduation ceremony wasn't a big deal. I told her very clearly, "This is your sister. This is her day. You are coming." Sophie grabbed her bag, said, "I'm not a child anymore," and walked out before I could stop her. She didn't come back until late that night. She noticed immediately. She kept scanning the audience, clearly looking for Sophie. When she realized her sister wasn't there, her smile faded just a little. She didn't cry, didn't cause a scene, but I could see how much it hurt her. I tried to focus on Emily and celebrate her achievement, but the empty seat next to me felt like a punch in the gut. That night, Emily admitted she felt unimportant and said, "I always show up for Sophie. I just wanted her there." That broke my heart. When Sophie came home, I grounded her for 2 weeks. No phone except for school, no hanging out with friends, and no social events. She lost it. She screamed that I was ruining her life, that grounding her was abusive, and that I had no right to punish her for choosing herself. I told her that choices have consequences, and skipping her sister's graduation after being clearly told not to was unacceptable. My spouse backed me up, but some extended family members didn't. My sister told me. I was too harsh and said, "Teenagers are naturally selfish," and that grounding Sophie would only push her away. She said I should have just let it go and talked to Sophie instead of punishing her. Meanwhile, my parents said Sophie needed to learn respect and that I did the right thing. Sophie has barely spoken to me since. She claims I embarrassed her, that her friends think I'm toxic, and that I favor Emily. Emily, on the other hand, quietly thanked me for standing up for her, but also said she feels guilty that Sophie got punished because of her, and now I'm stuck, wondering if I handled this the right way. But where do you draw the line between independence and selfishness? Grounding period ended last weekend. Sophie is still distant, but she did something unexpected. She apologized to Emily, Not to me, not fully. But she told Emily she didn't realize how much it would hurt and admitted she acted selfishly. Emily accepted the apology and hugged her. That moment alone made me feel like maybe the punishment wasn't just about control, it was about accountability. Sophie and I are still working through things. We've started having weekly one-on-one talks, and I've made it clear that while I respect her growing independence, family commitments are not optional. I grounded my daughter for skipping her sister's graduation after clearly telling her it wasn't optional. I wanted to teach her that actions have consequences and that families should show up for each other.